All right, now without further ado, hopefully this still works, Master Jim Young.
Can you hear me, Steve?
Yes.
Going back in time, although I do want to say that Master Instructor Wrights and Club President's House starting at age 7, and then Master Wrights age 10 made me smile. That made me. Now, I had the opportunity to be a student in what was probably the first class taught of a form of our Korean martial art. It was long before those periods interunified into Taekwondo. I started at age 13 and was able to train with a gentleman who had been in Korea. And please understand, I'm getting feedback.
Hang on, I'll try shutting down these other microphones.
All right. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yep, can you hear us?
All right, good. I was able to eliminate the feedback.
Okay.
Good. In any event, being able to train in Korea right after the war stopped, he was able to train for a number of years, come back, and start a class at a YMCA in Wyandotte, Michigan in 1960. And I attended that first class at age 13 and was able to train on a consistent basis until I went to the University of Michigan. Now, what's important in this is that I was able to train in the our form of this Korean martial art, as opposed to any other form, be it Japanese, Chinese, etc. As a result, that was able to set the groundwork for the various instructors, including Grandmaster Chung, who followed me and who I will talk about a lot, and allows us to get to where we are today. Now, as a freshman, and with approval of U of M officials, I formed, of course, the club in October 1964. Now, in our first few classes, we had well over 60 students in each class, which was enormous at that time. The majority of them were from the University of Michigan football team. They thought they were going to be trained killers very quickly. And earlier, the Michigan Daily had written a story about the club. And in those days, the media called it Korean karate. And that is how it was referred to then. And once they realized that the training wasn't going to be what they thought, they dropped out, leaving a lot of committed members that allowed the club to continue to bring us to where we are today. As I approached graduation in 1968, not knowing whether I would remain at U of M, with the student advisor at that time, and that student advisor was also a member of the club and had trained and earned a black belt, which is truly unique. We set about trying to find a replacement, and that included interviewing black belts in the Detroit area, as well as a gentleman who we had heard about, but I had not met, who at that time was a graduate student at Michigan State. And we arranged a rather in-depth meeting where there was fighting, sparring, detailed interviews, and we had input from the student officers at that time of the club. And our unanimous choice was a person whom we now know as Grandmaster Chung, and for whom I have truly the greatest respect. And however, I also have to admit during our discussion, there was only one negative aspect we considered in looking at Grandmaster Chung, and that was he was a grad school at Michigan State, but that was I was able to train with Grandmaster Chung for 4 years. I went to U of M Law School that practiced in Ann Arbor with an attorney named Jack Harris, who I met because his son Steve Harris was an active member of our club. And I believe that Steve should be at the dinner this evening. But in 1974, I was appointed the prosecuting attorney in Antrim County, which is in the northwestern part of Michigan's Lower Peninsula up near Traverse City. And unfortunately, that was too far from Ann Arbor to be in regular contact with the club. But the truly important part of this history, from my perspective, is the selection of Grandmaster Chung and the environment that he set up, the excellent training and philosophical approach that allowed excellent instructors to follow him. Grandmaster Bush being the classic example. I'm sure that Master Wright will meet that same level of superlative leadership and training. And as I finish, and in honor of our club's history, I wanted to personally talk about some of the what I consider benefits to our members and the training that they can get from what I call regular and meaningful training. Obviously, we can help develop skills that improve ourselves by means of physical and mental discipline. In addition, we are learning a truly meaningful method of self-defense as well as an Olympic sport. And in my era, all of the instructors typically were ex-military, and you were learning a true martial art. And lastly, your training assists in developing strength, balance, and a truly complex physical coordination, all of which, I take it from an old man, benefits your body in the long run. So, I want to thank you for attending the dinner, your commitment to our club. I sincerely apologize for not being able to attend in person. But once again, I thank all of you, and I thank your commitment to the club and the assistance that you can provide. And Mr. Wrights, I wish you the very best as you continue an excellent lineage into the future. Thank you.